Welcome to a brand new episode of the Real Life Podcast, a member of the Nation Network of Podcasts and delivered by DoorDash.
Welcome to Real Life, everyone. What is going on right now?
I think that I'm in love with Matthew Tkachuk.
Are you guys all drunk?
Hello, welcome in episode 355 of the Real Life Podcast. I'm back.
Who are you?
Wow. We're brought to you by the HGA Group. I'm surprised I remember that.
What episode number is it, Tyler? Because I didn't know.
355 is what we're on.
I was in like the 380, 390 range. I guessed each episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm back though, which is nice, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
you're into that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. How were things while I was gone? Did everything stay on the rails? Probably not.
What we learned is that life goes on without you.
Yes, certainly does. We were able to.
That's alarming for me.
No, honestly, there's you being gone dumped a lot of shit on my plate and I didn't like it. So welcome back.
And I had to host a podcast and I was not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
I think I had to host. It should have been Bagman. Bagman actually knows how to host things.
And then just like where we're at right now behind the scenes, he's just busy.
House on fire behind the scenes.
Yeah. But things are
great time to take a vacation.
The perfect time.
That's
to be fair.
House on fire. Yaremchuk leaves. Yeah.
To be fair, one, it was supposed to be the Olympic
Sees
break.
the rest of us running at the fire with pails of water, and that's all we got.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be the Olympic break, and I was putting in half days still, so it was only a half vacation. I was still doing the Giant pregame show and still doing the daily face-off show.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't totally bail on everyone. I just bailed a little on some people.
As long as you acknowledge the bail.
Yeah. And you left us on our own.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Tough week.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But we got through it.
I had a great time.
I'm glad you did.
Yes. Well, yeah, we need to unpack your great times because you actually, with the little time that you did devote to work, you did do some interesting things.
Yeah. So the trip to Vegas, I talked about on Oilers Nation Radio, my terrible travel day, which was definitely self-inflicted. When I went to
because you're hungover. Oh, geez.
Because I went to the wrong hotel.
Yeah, that was, wow.
That was on me.
Yes.
Two MGMs, you know? Damn it.
Wow.
I thought
rookie.
The fun stuff in Vegas was that I did pretty well playing blackjack, which is good.
Oh, it's always good.
So that was.
Did you make some table friends?
Table friends are the best.
Do you want to hear the best table friend story?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'll get to the fun work stuff that I did. So I sit down at this blackjack table the day I'm leaving on Sunday because my flight was until 6 o'clock. I had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Sit next to this gentleman and he, I'd say
late. Just go for a walk and enjoy your last day.
I did do that as well. I went top golfing by myself.
Okay, fair.
Are you a step tracker? Because that's how I like to look at it.
I should have, yeah. Because I was cruising a lot.
Any elevators?
No, didn't. Only up to my hotel room.
Okay, fair.
So I sit down at this blackjack table and this guy, late 30s, early 40s is sitting next to me. And he goes, hey, just a heads up. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing. So I don't play by the book. So like, if you're going to play, you can't get mad at me. And I was like, man, I don't care. So I sit down anyways.
Then he hits on 17 and you're like, fuck you.
He was doing some stuff like that, but I didn't give a shit. We were both winning. So I sit down, we're playing and he was like, like you in town for the All-Star game? Cause I was wearing an Oilers mask. And I was like, yeah, I'm in town actually covering it. Like I do like podcasts and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Just flexing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. I watched the game and he was like, I'm staying in town. I'm going to go to the Pro Bowl as well. Just came to make a weekend out of it. Blah, blah. I'm like, oh, you're a football fan. And he goes, yeah, well, I'm from Buffalo. And I was like, hell yeah, my guy.
Friendship.
Like, go Bills. Let's go. So we got into the Bills a little bit, talked about that. He's an attorney up in Buffalo, has like his own
so you have
little
legal
practice.
representation next time you go to a game.
Yep. So we're sitting there chatting. He's like, oh, like, do you travel the States a lot? And I'm like, yeah, like yes and no, kind of. And I was like, but next summer, my girlfriend and I both agreed we're going to catch a Bills game in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. And this guy was
probably around trade deadline.
Free agency is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm going to catch a game in Buffalo. And he goes, and we'd played blackjack 30, 45 minutes. Conversation was flowing. We were getting along. And he goes, oh, well, like with my law firm, I have a box.
Oh boy.
And he was like, let me know when you come up. And I think he said like his brother owns a casino or runs a casino and has a hotel too.
The last thing you need is a person that owns a casino in your life.
So anyways, I have his name. I have his full contact info. And he was like, when you come up, let me know. He was like, I got a suite. You can come. I'll let you in the suite. You can come enjoy the game with me.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, this is the best.
You have to cash in on that. You have to cash in.
Yeah.
Of course.
Anyways, Amber was very excited when I told her too, but that was my best table friend. I also ended up playing blackjack with a guy who one of the writers for NHL.com. We got along great.
Okay.
Had a good time playing blackjack.
That was at
night as well.
blackjack tables.
Yeah.
I find that the best table friends are when you're playing craps.
Oh, because everyone's like
You're in it
on the
together.
same, you're playing the same hand.
Yep. Do you play any craps? What else do you play?
Just blackjack. A little bit of roulette.
I guess
Not a lot of
roulette's
craps.
okay.
I didn't really have anyone
I
to
love the
gamble
juice
with.
on
me,
the
Yeah,
right?
you gotta go to craps with a bit of a squad. I guess you don't. If you got a hot table, then you're best friends
Yep.
with everyone immediately. But it is nice to go with a squad. Squad wins nice.
Absolutely.
Winning with your squad.
Yeah. So I made a couple of table friends, Todd being the most exciting one. And yeah, it was good. And the work stuff. So like get there and Thursday, like I went to bed super early every night, except for the last night where I went out at a little bit. But the first day, wake up, did a daily face-off show, all that good stuff. Went and shot a couple videos out at the Bellagio.
How was it hanging out with Burnside and McKenna?
Oh, good. Great guys. Scott Burnside loves his dive bars, which isn't really my crowd. And Mike McKenna is just a great dude to hang out with. So
I saw that Burnside really enjoyed MGK.
Oh, so we're sitting there. MGK's playing at the All-Star game, and Scott Burnside, who I'd say, early 50s or whatever, he's sitting there tapping his feet and like bobbing his head. And I was like, oh man, he was like the only one on the press row, like reacting at all to this. So Thursday was normal. Friday did the daily face-off show, and then there was like a media event, right? So that you go into like this conference kind of ballroom in the hotel. I forget what it's called, the Waldorf. It's one of the fancy ones there. It's where they were putting up all the players. So in this room, there was like 10 booths, and players were scheduled in 15-minute intervals to come sit in the booth. And then you could just go to whatever player you wanted to at that moment. And it was just a free for all. Like however many media were standing in front of them, like Zegras had a huge crowd. And then there was a point where Jordan Kyrou came up, and I was just checking my phone in front of a booth, and Kyrou like walks in and starts to do his availability, and there's no one there. It's just me. So I like kind of looked at him and looked away, and then I was like, oh boy, this is kind of awkward. Like no one's here to ask Jordan Kyrou any questions. So I ended up chatting with Jordan Kyrou.
Fastest skater, Jordan Kyrou.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, hey, are you Jordan Kyrou? Was that your first question?
Yeah. But there were the weird part. So it was all like, professional media, right? And then there was these two guys, I think from Boston, who were just like mid-20s, backwards hats on and t-shirts, roaming around asking players like weird questions. Like, which one of your teammates would you not let date your daughter? And when everyone else is just like asking, normal media stuff, these two guys like running around with their phones, like filming and like shouting
Guerrilla
that at
style,
guys.
man.
Island Boys.
Yep.
It was really weird. But anyways, so McDavid and Draisaitl were both scheduled to talk at 10:45. And I was like, well, why would you put the two teammates like that? Whatever. Draisaitl came up like kind of 2 or 3 minutes early. So there was 3 or 4 of us gathered around Draisaitl, and threw him a couple of the other people there, threw him a few questions. And then after a couple minutes, it was actually about probably 6 minutes. So we'd gotten through most of what people wanted to ask Draisaitl. McDavid came out a little late. Well, as soon as McDavid came out, everyone goes there. And I was just kind of like, oh, it's just me and Leon, which was kind of neat. I ended up asking him like 3 questions just about how the Oilers were doing.
What's the
and stuff like that.
face-to-face like handsomeness ranking out of 93?
Oh, yeah. He translates very well from the TV to real life. Good looking guy.
Oh, that's great.
So I ended up asking him like 3 questions, and then some other reporter.
Were you
came
nervous
up.
asking him a question, or do you not care at this point?
No, I didn't really care. I was only nervous because it was just me. And I'm like, oh, this is like, like I really wanted to ask like good questions. And I was nervous because I was like, if I can get something really good here, I'm the only one who has it right now because no one else has their cameras set up on this guy. But it was just kind of generic stuff. Like, what do you think? Because at that point, this was before they fired Tippett, and they were 5-0-1 in their last 6. So I was like, oh, like what's kind of leading to the turnaround? What's the vibe in the room like when you start to turn it around like this? And he just gave me kind of like the low ball cliches. And then I walked over to the McDavid one, and there was probably about 15 people gathered around his booth. And there was no like press person directing you. So you just kind of stood there, and right when his answer ended, a few people would like speak up, and then eventually one voice would just kind of be like the last voice standing.
So what do you got? You got to throw some bows in there.
Yeah.
right.
So I was just kind of sitting back and letting everything go up. And then towards the end, I could kind of tell that he was going to wrap up right away. PR guy kind of worked his way back to the side of the table, and things went quiet for a couple of seconds. And I was like, I'll chime in with something here. So I asked him the question about who the unsung hero on the Oilers is. And he said that was a good question. And I felt very validated.
You also asked a good question to Gary Bettman as well.
So the Bettman presser works different. You go to a room inside T-Mobile a couple hours after this, and you just kind of grab a spot, sit down, but there are two like microphone runners on either side of the room. And then at the front, there's a PR guy. And if you want to ask a question, you have to wave him down and then say like either 2 or 1 with your fingers. I like point up 2 or 1 to let him know how many questions. And Ryan Pike had texted me earlier in the day from Flames Nation. I was like, hey, if you get a chance, can you ask Gary Bettman about the Flames Arena deal? And I was like, okay, sure. But I was also kind of like, you know, being an Oilers guy, I was like, is that like, what kind of stuff are we going to get to with Bettman? Like, is that going to be a big enough thing? Right. I wasn't sure if Bettman would want to talk about the Flames local deal. And as the questions started going with Bettman, it was like, oh yeah, this is certainly a big enough deal considering like he's now fielded 7 questions on the Coyotes, 1 on the Kraken and like how they compare to Vegas. And I was like, that's a weird thing to ask the commissioner, but whatever. So again, I could kind of tell we were wrapping up. The PR guy had looked off to the side and kind of tapped his watch to someone who like flashed up how much time they had left. And like my heart started beating. I was like, I'm going to do this. Like, I got to do it now. And I was like, oh God, this is on like national TV. This is on Sportsnet. Like,
shoot your shot.
Oh, fuck. So I like nervously like wave my hand up and his eyes like dart over and he points and he goes 1. And I was like, yeah, 1. And then he looked at me, he goes 2 and he puts up 2. And I was like, no, 1. And he kind of like shakes his head again. And he goes, no, 2. And I was like, I like kind of shook my head like, okay. And then the microphone runner came over, gave me the mic. And again, she flashes up 2 to me. And I was like, no, 1. And she like shakes her head and she goes, no. And I can see Shimo's up in 2. And I'm like, oh, I'm up in 2 questions. I thought the PR guy was telling me I had to ask 2. And in my head, I'm freaking out. I'm like, I don't have a follow up to this. Like, what the fuck? And then, yeah, he points to me and I have the mic and I asked Bettman the question and he said it was an important question. So that made me feel good as well.
Ryan Pike, very happy with you, I assume.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
He is the authority on the arena. So God had to be pumped on that.
You're
answer.
now going to be a chapter in the book.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The Yaremchuk question.
But yeah, Bettman gave me like a really good answer on it. He kept looking back like directly at me, which made sense.
Yeah, he's keeping tabs. He's like, who's the new meat?
Yeah.
Just sizing you up.
Yep.
And then Frank told me after, because Frank was like, your voice kind of cracked. And I went back and listened to it and it definitely didn't. I stuttered a little bit.
Where's the audio clip? Oh man.
Yeah, we need the audio of that.
Jeez.
I don't remember because I posted it on Flames Nation social and on DFO and I don't remember the voice cracking. Is Frank just busting your balls?
Yeah,
I think Frank was just busting
Frank is a ball buster. I could see it.
I absolutely think he was busting your balls as you try to sync your phone now up to the Roadcaster with no
internet.
Yeah.
We had the Shaw guy here and all of a sudden we can't get internet in the room. What the heck is going on?
You bamboozled us.
Well, you don't need internet for Bluetooth.
I know, but I'm trying to get my Instagram to pull up the video.
Well, go off the Wi-Fi and just go off data.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Hard to paint here.
I got it somewhere.
We're vamping.
There we go.
Tyler scrolling.
Tyler, Yaremchuk Daily Faceoff. Just wondering if there was a comment on the Calgary Flames arena deal and maybe some disappointment on how that so seemingly fell apart.
Yeah.
So I was going to say on how that sort of fell apart. And then at the last second, I switched gears to seemingly, which is why.
Better word.
Some disappointment on a deal and maybe some disappointment on how that so seemingly fell apart.
A little starter, but like nothing crazy.
That's an important question as well.
Thank you, Gary.
You ask the important questions. That's what you do.
He avoids the grind and does the hard hitting journalism.
Yeah.
On the odd occasion, he is on the grind. He's asking good questions.
I was, as you can imagine, I was flying pretty high leaving that Bettman presser because Frank texted me before we talked on the phone and was like, yes, with like 6 exclamation points. Way to go. Because I got the daily, like Tyler Yaremchuk daily face off and I got that out there. So I was flying high. I went back to my room and I had bought some of the nice fancy American flavors of seltzers. And I had a they have so many.
Good for you, man.
Yeah,
celebrate.
So many flavors of seltzer down there.
Of like White Claw?
So like White Claw has like 2 other flavor packs. And then Bud Light does like 13 different flavors of something more than that. Cause there was the original one.
So you got wild. You got lost in the flavor kingdom.
Yeah.
They have these Bud Light soda seltzers that just taste like cans of pop. Incredibly dangerous. I was crushing them eventually when I got to Arizona as well. But anyways, I went up to my room and I had a drink And I was like, God damn, this was a good day.
And that's it. And then went to bed. Probably went to bed.
Yeah, 7 p.m. went to bed.
That was only like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I went to cover the skills competition after, which was cool to see in person as well. Never seen a skills competition in person.
I very much, since I get to say it to your face now, I really enjoyed the coverage you did for Oilers Nation from the event as well.
Yes.
I was proud of you.
I thought I was good on socials and whatnot. And I made a YouTube video.
I just like how you were talking about how it was so exciting for you to cover the skills competition, the All-Star game. I was just proud of you.
It was fun. Thank you.
It's like a father moment almost. A lot of us.
Next level content. I'm sure that upset a certain organization in the city with how good our coverage was. And I'm excited about it.
We did a lot.
We were kind of all over it. Yeah. And like, I ran into, you guys will like this. So we're outside the arena after the All-Star game. And we were like, hey guys, let's go shoot. Look at me stuttering on my S's again.
Sort of seemly.
We're like, hey, let's go shoot a video outside the rink. So myself, McKenna, and Burnside, we walk out, and Mike McKenna's a freaking celebrity there. He gets stopped every 10 steps for a photo with people who recognize him from the TV broadcast. So we're walking out, and this, tall guy comes over and is like, McKenna, and they're chatting. I look, I'm like, oh, fuck, that's Cam Hughes, like the cheer guy, Cam Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
So he and then McKenna's talking to some other people, and he turns around. And he's like, hey, I'm Cam. Nice to meet you. And I was like, Cam, you were on our podcast. I'm from Oilers Nation. And then he kind of like, I think he had a little bit to drink, but he kind of was like, oh my God, it is you. And he had DM'd me like 6 weeks prior to that and was like, next time you're in Vegas, let's get drinks. And I was like, okay. And we had a great chat about Oilers Nation and all that. And he was like, we should talk again soon. Let's do a podcast, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, hell yeah, man. So
we should have him back on. I'd be curious to know how life has changed in the COVID fans are back, or if it hasn't.
Oh, he's just been focusing on the American.
Like, are you still allowed to throw 10 sweaty tees out, or or do they have to be bagged now or something?
No rules down there.
Hell yeah.
They prefer if you lick the tee first before you pass it.
It's kind of the vibe I got watching the Super Bowl yesterday.
Or the Waste Management Open. Holy, that is
the biggest party of the year.
It is
like the biggest, like you watch social and it's 10 a.m. and it's just photos of guys passed out all over the place.
Also, while we're on the topic of waste management, what are they throwing on 16? Like, it's beers, but like, surely those aren't like metal beer cans, right? How are more people not getting hurt? Are they like plastic beer cups? I just don't.
Foam.
I'd Google it, but I can't.
Fair enough. No internet.
Yep.
Anyways,
it's a grind today.
So I eventually, I had my last day in Vegas was Sunday, and McKenna and Burnside both flew out at like 8 a.m.
That's a grind.
Yeah, that's
McKenna and I still went out a little bit though. We went to a few different bars. We saw an NHL forward, NHL All-Star playing the fake ponies in a casino.
Yes.
Oh, nice. The ponies.
Yes.
Shout out to Nation Dan.
Yeah. That was good. I sent it in the Owen radio group chat.
You did.
I talked about fake ponies last week.
Yeah. So he was sitting there just playing the fake ponies. Then he walked over to the bar.
Such a funny game to settle into.
Yeah, it is. Right. Especially when like you make gobs of money to like just be sitting there and be like, I'm going to play the fake ponies. It's fun. Yeah, sure. Entertainment's entertainment no matter how rich you are, I guess. And he came over and he drank Bud Lights.
That's like
standard protocol.
Yeah.
Go down easy.
Yeah.
You have 22 of those if you want. Allegedly.
Or 22 of some of these American flavors of seltzers.
Oh, God.
Dangerous.
Like a bouquet of flavors, to quote Jason Strudwick.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So Sunday I woke up and I went for a nice morning walk around the strip. And then
Cantina, daytime cantina.
Daytime cantina. That was a weird call by you. And you didn't even get a marg, hey?
No, because again, I still had work to do. Like it was lunch in between like some work stuff. So I didn't want to like get lit up.
Those late night margs and tacos though, they go down real nice.
Oh yeah. I do kind of regret not doing it, but my bedtimes were so early every night. I was out by like, whatever it was, 9 o'clock the first night, 10 the second night, 11 the third night.
Oh, third night. Oh, that's 11's when you went for it.
No. And then the fourth night was the night where I kind of went for it and I didn't get to bed till like 2 a.m.
Oh man. Yeah. That's stressful.
Yeah.
Did you make it down to Fremont?
No, didn't make it to Fremont. Burnside wanted me to go to a dive bar with him there. But I was like,
Fremont's that's where it's at. That's good Vegas down there.
You gotta, I know you were working, so it's a little bit more difficult because Fremont is like far away.
It is.
Yeah, it's a trek.
It's a hike. You had cab or Uber there, right?
Yeah. And it's like you're hauling on a freeway for like 20 minutes to get there.
Yeah. But when you get there, magic happens.
Oh, it sure does. And it's easier on the wallet too when you hit those tables.
Way easier.
Yeah. Oh, when you're walking around like any of the casinos, really, I had a hard time finding a blackjack table that wasn't $25 minimum.
Yeah, you got to, like 9 a.m. is when you find them.
Yeah. Which I did.
Yeah. Where there's a will, there's a way.
I went to Top Golf by myself.
How'd
That
you
was
do?
fun. I just went to like the bottom level. I just wanted to hit balls. So that was good. And then,
It's an expensive driving range session then.
Yes, it is.
yeah, it kind of was. It ended up being, but I went like early in the day Sunday, so it actually wasn't too bad. And then I flew southwest to Arizona to meet up with my girlfriend. And I didn't know,
like just due east.
Yeah, I didn't know Southwest wasn't assigned seating. It's just
it's festival seating, buddy.
Yeah. So I get on the plane and I see on my ticket it says like C59 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I get on and I'm thinking, okay, I got to find area C on this plane, and I'm seat 59 in area C. So as I'm walking, I'm like, this makes not a fucking lick of sense to me. I'd had a few beverages, so I'm like, this is really fucked up. Where do I sit? So I get all the way to the back of the plane, and there's a stewardess, and she was like, it's Southwest. You sit wherever you want. And then I looked to my right, and I already made eye contact with an individual who was sitting there. And I was like, now I got to sit here. And I sit down, and this person was eating Greek food on the plane, and like stinky Greek food. So my like 45-minute flight, which turned into like an hour and 5 minutes because we were delayed for 20 minutes on the tarmac, was next to this person who was just annihilating Greek food.
Do you offer you any of that?
No, and it just smelled terrible, even through my mask. I was like, oh my God. And then the person next to them on the window wouldn't stop singing. Like they were playing music before you go up, and then when you're down back on the tarmac, and this person was like singing along to all the songs. And I was like, this is hell. This is just terrible.
You need to know, like, it's funny. Their strategy to Southwest. And
I would have been with you though. I had no idea.
But you're flying solo, so it's tough. Like you always try to, get 2 seats up close if you're with someone, and then leave the middle seat open to really make someone feel bad if they sit in between you and realize there's a whole lot more plane behind you to go find a seat in. But if they're full, then you're going to get someone that just shoots their shot and sits right in between you. And he knows it's weird and you know it's weird. Therefore, you have a very awkward flight together.
It's like that middle urinal situation,
Yeah, that's fair. And I think that's it for my trip recap. I don't think there's much else. I had a good time in Arizona, drank a lot of American flavored seltzers.
Well, speaking of trips, we launched the trip to Nashville, April 12th to 16th with our friends New West Travel.
Woo!
Check it out. We will keep posting the link where everything goes through New West because they know what they're doing. Leave it to the pros.
How many people can we bring?
We can bring at the moment, up to 45 people.
Ooh, that's a tight trip.
So we've got room to take more if we can, but we're going to work on that. If we can get some more seats available, we will open it up. But, we launched on Friday, I think, and things are moving. We got our sponsors are all getting involved. So it's going to be good. It's good to promote a trip again. It's been a minute. And Nashville's a hoot, and they have all the flavors of seltzer.
All the seltzer you want.
And you go to the other bars and they'll have their own homemade Fireball.
Oh,
that's
dangerous.
It's dangerous because it's like 175 proof or something.
I can't wait to show you some of these seltzers, bag melts.
I can't wait to see them, pal.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Especially if we roommate 2.0 on this one.
Well, speaking about, it's Valentine's Day. You two are a lovely traveling couple.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Valentine's Day.
We're drinking only red wine, pal.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's the other part of this Vegas thing I left out. It was red wine and oysters, obviously.
Oh, yes.
And first off, I am still not forgiving whoever leaked that to Frank because he made Gregor listen and watch it today before we recorded the rundown. And Gregor now thinks way less of me as an individual.
Oh, God. I can tell you some compromising stories with Gregor. It's okay.
So our last night there, Frank texted Scott and was like, hey, I want you guys to go out as a team for dinner and like on me kind of thing. Okay. Very nice of Frank. So we went to a steakhouse and Burnside McKenna, big seafood guys. Me, not a big seafood guy. Don't eat a lot of seafood. I ate more seafood in that sitting than I ever have in my entire life.
And did it make an appearance later?
No, it did not.
Did it liberate itself?
And that's why I wanted to get it out because I ate it and I did not throw up all over the place.
But I also, to be fair, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody drink red wine like you were. You were shacking them back like it was a fucking Bud Light.
Yeah, you gotta sip the wine.
I will just probably
You
steer
have to
clear of
enjoy.
it.
You have to enjoy its time in your mouth and savor it.
I would watch a half glass of wine just disappear in seconds.
Oh, fuck. Not a great look for me.
I thought it was a good look.
That's fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
We're
Happens
not.
to the best of us.
Yeah, it does. It does.
First time I ever got really wine drunk, I was drinking it out of mason jars. And I also was guzzling it like it was a Bud Light. I feel you, pal. Happens to the best.
I feel
of us.
like everyone has
everyone's got to learn that lesson.
Yeah, there's only one way to learn it as well.
Felt
It's
like
the
I
hard
became a
way.
man.
You really did.
And you're developing a palate for seafood, so that's good.
Yeah, like I actually did somewhat enjoy it, and actually, it's like I didn't.
What were you having? Like shrimp?
So they brought out like the shrimp app or the seafood appetizer platters. Like there was some shrimp, there was some
nice garlic butter, maybe.
no garlic butter.
What? Sacrilege.
I know. But they had like the normal kind of cocktail sauce or whatever.
No, I'm not a cocktail sauce guy.
I like it actually.
Yeah, you would.
And then they had like some crab and lobster out with it too.
Oh, fantastic.
And that was good. I never eat it. And then when we went to order, McKenna was like, hey guys, what if instead of getting our own meals, we just all got we did it family style where we just ordered 3 big things.
Yeah.
So we ended up doing that. And they got like I think it was something sea bass. I want to say Chilean sea bass.
Yes,
But
also known as toothfish.
I don't,
I think we talked about this in the podcast.
I think
Did we
so.
not? Yeah.
Yep.
That's the sexy marketing name for toothfish is Chilean sea bass.
what's toothfish?
Chilean sea bass?
Okay. We
Google
did that.
toothfish. That's what you ate.
Oh God, do I want to Google this?
Well, first of all, your Wi-Fi is probably not working.
Yeah, you can't Google it anyway.
Toothfish.
The most important part is, did you enjoy it?
Whoa, really? This is what I ate?
That is what you ate.
It's
They are.
slightly upsetting to me.
Yeah. Well,
Why? Did you enjoy it though?
It was okay. And then we got a big steak, which I did enjoy because, you know, me, I'm a meat. And then I was eating it, enjoying it, whatever. And then at one point, McKenna looked at me and goes, you're more of a meat and potatoes guy, hey? And I was like, yeah.
Man, I wish I would have been down on a seafood feast like that. I love it.
Seafood tower. Gotta
Yeah.
do it.
Any mussels in there? Did you go back to the well?
No muscle. There were, but I didn't touch them.
How dare you?
Oh, come
Yeah.
on. It wasn't the muscles that made you vomit, I can assure you.
I had a good time laughing the other day too. And I was thinking about us in Jasper, where instead of dipping the bread in the delicious sauce that they had as, Tyler was just eating it dry and his mouth was all
man.
dry. It was so fucking
He
funny.
was complaining about how dry his mouth is. Like, dude. And then he's just guzzling wine to try to fight it. Yeah, it was a perfect storm.
Happens.
It does happen.
Yep.
Well, dare we talk about hockey?
Before we do that, let's give some love to our friends at Twig and Berries. Promo code Nation15 saves you 50% off. twigandberries.ca. Up your wardrobe before the spring. They got great winter stuff, but there's spring stuff. It screams camping and sitting around a fire.
And it is Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Pop your nut sacks on.
Yeah.
Present.
Send the jewels of a Valentine gift.
Yep.
Of nutsack.
Good stuff.
Nation 15.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of red wine, real quick, I did my Valentine's Day because there's no Oilers game tonight. I did it on Saturday.
Smart.
Went out for dinner. I spent way too much money on red wine.
It's because
what I did was-
not give it away.
I just asked for a rec. I didn't look. I don't know enough about wine.
Well, you know where they're taking you. The minute you ask for they're taking you top shelf.
Yeah, it was an expensive couple of glasses of wine, that's for sure.
But
Sometimes
did you
gotta-
enjoy it?
Oh, it was great. It went paired perfectly with my meal.
Ah, that's nice.
Fresh pasta.
When you get a nice wine pairing, like it really does enhance the meal.
It was excellent.
Like you just every bite with a little sip of wine, how they just complement.
I was
each other.
this close though. He's like, "Do you want the whole bottle?"
Oh,
And I was gonna do it, and I was like, "You know what? No, not gonna do it." And I'm glad I didn't.
Oh, how much would it have been?
I would have missed a mortgage payment.
It gets crazy, man.
Yeah.
But I think though I've been thinking about red wine since we were in Jasper. I think that's going to be like a thing now that I want to do.
Yeah, it's good.
I just bought myself actually a wine rack for my house. I'm going to start exploring.
Yeah, like there's certain wines I like, and if I see them on sale, I'll just buy a bottle randomly.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'd like to get to that point.
Yeah.
I'd like to be that guy. Right now, I'm not that guy.
I've got so me and my neighbor, we like to once a month get together and try a new donair shop or a local donair shop and pair it with a type of red wine, and then talk about it.
Delicious.
Good plan.
You're crushing a
weird
donair.
pairing, but-
Well, is it though? Have you tried it?
Yes. No, I haven't. I've barely tried either of the two.
Well, red wine pairs nice with red meat. So
Sure.
Yeah.
it's good.
Okay, let's talk hockey. Tyler Toffoli is going to the Calgary Flames.
Boo.
Oh God.
I don't like this.
It drives me nuts that Calgary's getting better.
And Vegas is getting Eichel this week too. Like, what the fuck? Although Mark Stone going on LTIR to clear the space.
Bullshit.
Like, this is so shady.
That's what I'm saying. Why can't Mikko just go on LTIR?
Especially because Mark Stone like went out with that back injury and then came back for
Now,
like a month and then is like, oh, actually now I need the surgery, not a month ago.
Oh, is he getting surgery?
Or whatever it is. Whatever it is. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Like, okay. Yes, it's shady and I question the shit out of it, but back injuries are also a nagging MFer. But I won't,
So
I will side with the conspiracy first on this one.
100%.
So I've
been helping out at Daily Faceoff a little bit lately, and
just a little.
Chris Gear wrote a really interesting article at Daily Faceoff about.
I like his angle on things. Yeah,
I do too. Cause he talked about how it's time to revisit this LTIR loophole that everybody seems to be working with right now. If you haven't read it, check out dailyfaceoff.com.
Extend it through the playoffs. It makes, anyways, yes.
Yeah, it really does. Like, why do you have to be cap compliant all year, but then not in the playoffs? It's just odd. Like, I just, whatever.
Unless Clefbaum comes back, then keep it the way it is.
Yeah, or unless Mikko Koskinen develops a skin allergy, then keep it the way it is.
Oh man. So this is what drives me nuts. So, okay. The Flames got Tyler Toffoli. That in itself sucks because Tyler Toffoli is serviceable and he's got term on his contract and he's just gonna, add more grit and depth to that team that unfortunately is not bad.
And when he was on the Canucks, like even post trade deadline, he just feasts on the Oilers. And last year in the Canadian, the all Canadian division.
Yeah. So like in like proven winners, won cups. So like it drives me nuts. So here's the thing. Calgary didn't have the cap space to accommodate him joining. GM figured it out.
Yep.
Shipped some money out.
Yep.
Made some moves. Had to give up a few picks. Sure. Prospect. Yeah. Okay. But that's what, going for it is like
getting creative.
And the thing is with us, like, he's, we're practicing patience, but who doesn't have patience is Leon and Connor. Cause it's just math in the sense of
and me,
their contract and all of us, we're all pissed. So like, it's doable. So I hopefully Ken's got some maneuvers like that. Cause we don't have a choice. You have to pull off maneuvers like that to make any kind of upgrades to our roster. So like, I hope Ken's taking notes or has got something like that in his own on the go, because it is driving me nuts that we just let the Flames get better.
Just once I'd like to see a trade go through where the Oilers make something happen in a 3-way deal or some kind of shifty trade. And you're just go, whoa, where did that come from?
Yeah, like get the bomb dropped on you and like, damn, like this team is better right now than they were yesterday. I wonder if the Cassian LTIR thing will work out in their favor. The tough thing,
I would ride that out like that one, like 4 to 8 weeks. Oh, I'm sorry. I heard 8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah, I heard 8 to 10 weeks.
Okay,
as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So just ride it out. Why not?
But how many more weeks are left in the season here? So there's
about 9 weeks left.
Yeah. So, he's 8.
So it takes him right to the end. And then you've also got the 2 to 4 weeks of Duncan Keith out as well. So there's a little bit of wiggle room to make something happen.
In the Mikko LTIR, it's pending. It's impending. I should
He's
say.
got soft tissue damage, allegedly, in my opinion, that is going to require him to miss the
Tough
rest
to
of the
diagnose, but man, is it causing issues.
Yeah, he can't even stand, the poor guy.
Yeah, it's just they're so tight to the cap, and you're right. Like it is frustrating to see the Flames. It was just they had a bit of cap space anyways. So like
1 point something, and Toffoli's 4.5.
Pitlick out, Toffoli in was a wash, right?
Yeah, but they moved some. Yeah, but they moved some contract out. Right. So like it's clearly doable. You've got a team that's rebuilding. So like why? Like
the only difference would be that Pitlick is movable because he's pending UFA, bottom 6 guy, whatever. The Oilers' overpaid players aren't movable. Barry's not.
Koskinen's movable. He's UFA.
4.5 though is different than 1.175 or whatever.
But it's a pack. Well, it's a package. What else are you throwing in?
Yeah, and that's fair.
Got to get something done.
So like that's what, and they've got someone under contract. This isn't a pure rental either. So like
that's a good.
We need to look at it that way too. Like we are not in the market for rentals. That I will admit. We can't afford it. But like there's players out there with some term we can pick up.
I think the Oilers can be in the market for a rental.
Maybe if we made some other moves.
Yeah, I think so.
Rental where though, Tyler? Like D?
On the blue line, yeah. And something better than Kulikov.
Well, you're not.
Oh, fuck. I bet you wish you had Kulikov right now.
Yeah, that's fair. But like, what's Nick Leddy costing? You know, that's a guy who's been on to 4 runs to the conference finals or deeper in his career. He's out in Detroit, pending UFA.
Holland loves trading with Detroit.
Well, fuck, Yzerman owes us a favor.
Yes, he does.
I know he probably won't pay it back, but he owes us a favor.
He will not.
That's a guy I'd have time for, is, you know, again, a veteran player in this lineup. But we're talking on the pregame show. If Niemelainen continues to impress,
I like the way he's feisty.
He is.
Yeah.
You know,
but he should be our 7th defenseman just for now. Like, we shouldn't be forcing him up the lineup. But like, yes, I love him in our lineup right now, and I would say play him as much as you can because he's a threat. But
what do you think about Woodcroft? The second game in a row, he's going 11-7.
I don't mind it. I think, you know, defense is a weak spot. On some nights, certain guys might be going and they might not. And the reason I like it as well is because it didn't result in game 1, at least, in McDavid and Draisaitl playing 26, 27 minutes.
He really did a good job of spreading those minutes out.
He spread them out. So you can go 11-7 when you trust enough guys and you have a deep enough roster up front, which I honestly think they do. They have
if we're running the 3 centers like that and we can make it work, yes. But like,
and then if it cuts down on 1 or 2 fatigue-driven mistakes from young blue liners or Tyson Barrie, then, well, then right, like I think that's a correct take.
Yeah, no, and the rotate, like, and I just don't know where Broberg's at in his development either. So this just protects that as well. One
big thing that was coming out on the B-cast on Friday night, obviously big win, everybody was excited, is just how fucking positive Jay Woodcroft is when he speaks. Yes. I love it. Adds a different tone.
And Nugent Bowman in The Athletic wrote something as well about how that's a characteristic that a lot of people rave about when it comes to Woodcroft, is he's very upbeat and positive.
I also loved seeing him work the bench the way he did.
Yeah.
Like, Tippett tended to just stand there and kind of like do his thing, but Woodcroft was up and down, checking in with guys, communicating. I like it.
So he's a new era coach.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
I hope this helps. Like, obviously it's not like I said, there's like probably 10 things we need to do and 10 might be aggressive, but like, and this is just one of them.
Yeah.
So hopefully it takes, like, obviously dead cat bounce win over the Islanders. Great. Thank you, Smitty, for the hell of a performance.
This question was asked a few kind of times in the mailbag over at OilersNation.com. What end of the season brings Woodcroft back? Just making the playoffs? Is Woodcroft your coach?
No, we got to be like, we should have made the playoffs regardless of who our coach is. So I think minor success.
So like a playoff round win.
If you get through the first round. Now that's going to be tough. Like, let's now unpack our division, because Vegas just got Eichel. Vegas's first line center now just got pushed to the 3rd line. That's what Eichel does. So that puts Vegas in a good spot. So Vegas is going to be tough to catch up to, but fucking Calgary's doing a really good job of doing it. Yeah. So you have to think
Calgary's got the goalie, right?
They've got the goalie.
Yeah, because he's got he's got double the amount of shutouts of anybody else. Something like that.
It's nuts.
Fuck.
I actually think Calgary's fake news a little bit.
I really hope so. I don't know if they're the guy could brand.
I just think that goalie, like when you got a goalie that's doubling the league in shutouts, like that covers up a lot.
Especially he got the first 5 of them in like the first 13 games of the year or whatever it was. It was something stupid like that.
Say banked him early.
But like he can do that in a playoff series is what I'm saying. That's why Markstrom's a little scary to me. But you look at the Flames, they still have 2 second-round picks this year. I don't think they're done.
They're not done. They're going for it.
They're going to D-man.
They're sneaky.
True Living likes to swing.
They're sneaky good.
Yep.
And they've got grits, and they're fixing out their talent situation, their scoring situation. They've got the goalie. It just pains me. They're doing this right before our eyes.
Yep.
Which is driving me nuts.
It's also driving me nuts when they do something good and Ryan Pike texts me, "Hey, did you see what happened?" Stop it.
He texted me after they fired Tippett and was like, "That's not going to fix it." And I was like, "Get out of here, Pike. I don't want to hear that."
Yeah, nobody wants to.
I respect his
trolling game is very subtle, but it's very strong.
Yeah. With the Oilers though, like the Flames, I think they're going to add a D-man.
They're 1-2. It's either Calgary, Vegas 1-2 interchangeable. Yeah. I hate to say it.
Right now, Calgary's in a great spot too.
They're rolling. And that would piss me off. Islanders come here, we beat them.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Flames go beat them.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas comes here, shit kicks us. Mm-hmm. Then Calgary shells them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and that's just like another reason why it's so annoying that they lost to Chicago the way they did.
Oh,
like these winnable games that the Oilers have dropped throughout the year so far.
Gotta win that
so
game.
fucking irritating.
Well, I guess it led to Tippett being fired. So guess
man,
maybe
Jay.
it was needed.
Jay Woodcroft. I also like the Photoshop. I assume you saw it of all the Jays that are in the Oilers corner.
That's so funny.
I thought it was cute. I
very much enjoyed that.
I thought it was nice.
You should get on a pod.
We should.
100%. You talk about Athabasca?
Oh yeah, that'd be great shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, with
shoot
the
your
Oilers,
shot. Ask him.
Yeah. He's a big DFO rundown guy though.
What do you mean?
Like he doesn't miss an episode of it.
Really?
Whenever something funny happens, he's always DMing me being like, this was so funny.
Oh, perfect. Well, then
So we got
Just tell him.
come on real life.
Yeah, just tell him this is the DFO rundown.
This is the show behind the show.
Yeah.
With the Oilers though, like a D-man, if you can get rid of Barry, then you can go get a right-handed
It's not going to happen though. Like,
So
we
then
both know that.
So it's a left-handed defenseman you're going to get.
But you might be able to get rid of him.
I just
You're
don't think.
paying a lot.
Yeah.
Or you're trading him to Seattle or Arizona or
And we
Buffalo.
get Larson back.
Fuck, when
Imagine Niemelainen and Larson. I don't know. They both is Niemelainen lefty or
lefty?
righty?
Yeah, that'd be a
Yeah, lefty righty.
geez.
That'd be bruisers.
great pairing.
They would just the Bash brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting Larson back here.
No,
Anyways,
I don't think so.
So you're probably looking at a left-handed defenseman and then a goalie. Do the Oilers, in your opinion, have space to add another forward, or does that just
No,
not?
we
I think
need
there's-
to.
I think
Like
that-
space meaning like, is there a spot or
Yeah. Do you think
Yes.
it makes sense?
Yeah,
You do.
we're still not deep enough.
Really.
Yeah.
Hyman, McDavid, Puljujarvi, Kane, Draisaitl,
Yeah,
Yamamoto
Puljujarvi's the issue on that line.
on that top line.
Yeah.
Why would you say he's an issue?
That's the spot you want to fill. You want to push him down.
So then you want to push him down to run Kane, Draisaitl, Puljujarvi, and then have Nuge, Yamamoto, Fogle, and then you would have McLeod, Benson, Derek Ryan, maybe Dylan Holloway one day.
Oh, that'd be interesting to see what Holloway's left wing, isn't he?
He's a left winger, but you
Yeah.
can flip Fogle.
Yeah, so I feel like we got to push Puljujarvi, and it's not. I love the Bison King, but if we're building a deep team, he can't be our first line right winger.
I'm
Really?
hoping that goal from the other night kind of like gets
him a
the
jolt.
juices going.
Yeah,
a
of
little
course,
bit
and
again.
that's fine. But like, I just like that to me. That's a gaping hole still.
But I think the point you're getting at is you can't have your first line winger on a 14 game drought.
Yeah, like we need. Like it's like he can't.
He's learning.
Yeah, and that's okay. Learn on the second or third line.
Yep.
That's fair.
That's fair.
And the way and now that our third line isn't anything that's Nuge is your center. Like that's offensive.
Yeah, just I'm not sold on getting another forward. I think the forward group as it's built now with everyone healthy is good enough. And there's a couple of extra pieces.
What are some of the names out there in the free agency market?
Like pending UFAs?
Just who's in the talk? Who's Frank talking about? Who's on the icebreakers?
The names that get brought up as sort of, and Frank and Gregor had a very long conversation on the podcast about this. The Coleman Goudreau type, right? When they acquired those guys, it was almost unanimous. Holy shit, Tampa Bay paid a lot. But they got each of those guys for 2 years and won 2 cups. And now that is the prototype deal of what it'll look like. Brandon Hagel, Morinville boy, plays for the Hawks.
Yeah.
Frank was saying the Hawks have had multiple offers. I think he said multiple offers, but he definitely said at least one. Teams are offering the Hawks a first rounder and a prospect for Brandon Hagel.
Oh man, that's rich.
He also said teams that'll probably be the price for Arturi Lehkonen.
Yikes.
Lawson Crouse, probably the same boat, although Frank didn't mention him by name. That's the market for forwards right now. Even look at Toffoli, right? Because these guys all have control. So the Toffoli deal cements that. If you want one of these good second, third line wingers who's going to play hard, play the right way in the playoffs, like Goudreau and Coleman do, you have to be prepared to part with a first and a prospect.
I would do like
I'm
Lawson
fine.
Krause in that situation.
But
he's not fast enough, but
he-
I do
he
like
might
his
not go.
toughness.
So if would you give up the first in Raphael Lavoie for Arturi Lehkonen or Hagel?
The first is crazy.
It's insane.
If I'm spending a first, I think it has to go on defense.
So whereas
We have 2 firsts to spend this
we
year,
do,
next year.
you do. But if you're going to give up the first, in my opinion, you can get a goalie without giving up the first in all likelihood. Go look at what goalies go for. It's usually not that much. So your second and a prospect can go for a goalie probably.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're better off using that first to get a D-man because
I do
I
too.
think that D-man, again, a first alone is not getting you a bona fide top six winger. It's getting you a good middle six winger. And the difference there is that it's not a guy who can bump Puljujarvi down, right?
I think if you can push somebody back on defense, that'd be better.
Bingo. I think the ripple effect.
We need to be tougher up front.
Yeah. The ripple. We do.
We do.
But you're hoping the playoffs brings a little bit more toughness out of Hyman, a little bit more toughness out of Kane. Lord knows about Zach Kassian.
I do like seeing like against, when was that on? I guess New York, everybody in the pile.
Yep. That was great. We haven't seen that in a long time. Yeah. I'm hoping we see more of that.
Wasn't it Pajot? I swear his life flashed before his eyes when he saw Kane rushing into the pile. Yeah. Oh my God.
But I just think that first round pick, if you're using it on a D-man, it has a greater effect on your team's ability to win playoff games. I think they have enough scoring. I think the Kane edition gives them a little bit more jam up front. I just think a D-man who's also tough as nails, because I do agree they could use a little bit more of that, but a D-man who's tough as nails and can give you solid PK minutes.
That's not Letty.
Yeah, that's not Letty.
He's a vet though. Yeah. Like he's at least been in those playoffs here. Like he knows what it takes to win a little bit. He has some element of intangibles. But like, if you're giving me if you say the Oilers can dangle their first and can get either Sherratt or Lehkonen from Montreal, which one are you taking? I'm taking Sherratt.
And $6 million for how long? Oh no, sorry.
I think Sherratt's a UFA.
He's UFA, yeah.
So you can't trade your first for a UFA.
No.
Ken Holland already said he's not doing that.
He's a little bit term. Well, Ken's got to get used to train first because
100% he does.
Fucking happen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And Sherratt's hurt right now.
You created the situation.
I know. With the injury report. Dailyfaceoff.com. Thank you.
You have like 12 jobs right now.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Excellent.
That's good times. That's why
I'm drinking so much red wine.
Yeah. That's why we loaded up in the wine.
Pending RFA D-men sorted by, we'll sort them by time on ice per game. Because I don't even think there are, like, again, RFA D-men just don't really get moved.
We have to make a trade at that point.
I know, but I'm saying, like, okay, so Mario Ferraro, he's probably not going anywhere.
That name's fun to say, though.
It is.
He's going to be playing top pairing tonight for San Jose.
Lamborghini Polini and Ferrari Ferraro.
Yeah, everybody loves it. Everybody's having a great time with that.
Noah Dobson in Long Island's not going anywhere. He doesn't.
What you're looking at, though, what do you expect from Kane's first game back in San Jose?
Scrap.
Yeah.
You think he's scrapping? Because I bet on him to score tonight.
Yeah, he's scoring.
Yeah. I think a scrap.
I only had him at plus 165 to score, and it's upsetting to me.
It's growth. The money's been moving on him.
Yep.
Oh, man. I'm very, like, again, the idea of getting a left-handed defenseman who's tough and who has years of control. Carson Soucy in Seattle.
Yeah. Seattle's open for business.
Yeah. He's got a year left at 2.75 mil. So
after this.
Yeah. So like, would they do the first and Barry for Soucy? Would you do that?
Would I do that?
Yeah. Would you do that?
If I'm Seattle.
And if you're Ken Holland, would you do that? First,
all day.
First and Barry for Soucy?
100%. Why wouldn't you? It gets rid of a contract.
Yeah.
One that's looking to be, unfortunately, like an anchor.
Soucy's only 27 too. So that works well. Yeah. First and Soucy for that.
And then, and he's a big boy too, Soucy.
Yeah.
And he's from Irma, Alberta.
Is he from Irma?
I think he's from Viking and played in Irma or from Irma and played in Viking.
Okay.
Either way.
So that's certainly an option. He very well could be out there.
It's funny that trade deadline's like still 9 years away.
5 weeks to the day. Yeah.
By the way, check out dailyfaceoff.com. We are going to have a page set up just for the trade deadline. Get all your info.
I'm trying to figure out how I want to handle trade deadline from a content perspective.
What do you mean?
I love the idea of going live for like 6 hours.
Yeah, I have a call with Frank about it. After this.
Because Frank's got options.
He's got options.
And we also pitched some ideas to him a couple of weeks ago.
So the option is like, do we run the hybrid or do we go all in? That's the behind the scenes.
I love the idea of being right here where you guys are sitting in the podcast studio with Liam sitting where I am at 8 a.m. and just being like, let's go.
And you're just going to fill the air for 8 hours.
Who are you going to talk to?
Get McKenna on. Get you on to talk Oilers with no face.
I'll just walk in randomly just to yell.
I mean,
get Burnside on, get whatever.
I think we should be open to a lot of different ideas.
And maybe it's not 8 a.m. That's maybe a stretch because nothing happens in those first little bit
at all.
But like maybe I go live
from 10 to 1 for like 3 hours.
Maybe I go live 10 to 1 and I get McKenna to stop.
Yeah, I think it'd be better if it was right at the bell. Like when you're live at the bell, You know what I mean?
'Cause there's also
the
there's-
hours leading up to.
Yeah.
So maybe it's 11-2.
Yeah.
And then after that, maybe I go live with like an Oilers specific recap show at the deadline. I've been thinking about this for a while, but and Frank's obviously a big part of it too, if he's free.
Yeah. We need to, he's free if we want him to be free.
Yeah.
Question is, do we want him to be free?
That is the question.
It's a powerful question.
It's a very powerful question.
Just cruising along here. I haven't done this in a while, so I forget the ad rates. Usually I can do this whole thing without having to pull up the ad rates at all. DoorDash, Oodle Noodle, Ding Dong.
Ding dong.
Promo code RealLifeDD gets new users of the app 25% off, no delivery fees on their first order. While I was gone, my parents had a little date night that involved Oodle Noodle and an Oilers game.
Wow.
They tried the new
combo.
one in St. Albert right by their house.
On the way to the game?
Before the game. So they went and got it because that Oodle Noodle is like a 2-minute drive from their place.
Yeah.
So they went and got it.
What did they have?
My mom, I think, had the Kung Pao, which is a recommendation of my girlfriend's, which is why she got it. She loves it.
One of our top sellers.
Yeah,
100%.
And what did your dad have?
I didn't ask him what he had. So, to be fair, he didn't tell me this happened. My mom did.
Fair.
My only real communication with my dad while I was gone, I sent him a video of me asking Bettman the question, and then he responded, "Very nice."
Oh, that's
Which
nice.
is funny. And then at one point, my mom texted me and was like, "Can you FaceTime me?" Because we hadn't talked in a few days. She wanted to see how my trip was going. So I FaceTimed my mom, and my dad picked up. And you know how like older people kind of answer the phone funny, right? And he picked up, and I was like, "Oh, mom wanted me to call." And he was like, "Well, I'll talk to you." I was like, "Okay," or something like that. And it was nice. It was a nice chat with my dad. So that's your update on me and my dad and my family.
There you go. No, everyone wants to know.
Yep.
Shit. I got a call in 3 minutes.
All right. Well, then shout out to DoorDash and Oodle Noodle. Why not make that your own date night, Valentine's Day? Last year for Valentine's, my girlfriend and I did Oodle Noodle.
Get a heart-shaped Kung Pao.
Is that a thing?
Sure. You dump it on the plate and make
you
a
can
heart
make it
out of
whatever
it.
shape you want. Yeah, of course.
Very easy. Delicious. Delicious heart.
Didn't buy flowers? Spring rolls.
I did not buy flowers yet. Yikes. I didn't buy anything.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually bad, but we decided, we got.
Yeah, we don't really do that. But
well, I'll be the one on the podcast say I did a little something.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm a nice boy.
Yep.
Gentleman over here.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I think we covered a lot of bases here. This was a lot of me talking. So for the people who always say that I take
Bengals didn't win the Super Bowl. I told everyone they would.
Oh, halftime show.
Oh,
so good.
Amazing.
So good.
So good.
Best ever.
Fitty looking thick.
Yeah, I should send you one of the tweets I saw. It was funny, but Fitty looking thick. The decision to start with him upside down was like, how long was he hanging there?
I saw a video on TikTok. Somebody had a camera angle. It was 2 seconds.
Oh, really? Okay, good.
I like that they did that.
I
did
just
too.
imagined him sitting there for like 4 minutes being like, where's my key?
I thought it was interesting how many people didn't remember the in the club video. Did you not?
No, I didn't even know that.
That's why he was upside down.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that.
Old.
Man.
Yeah,
That's the funny thing because everyone's like, oh my God, like these are the acts from our generation. And like the Chronic came out 30 years ago. So this is like bringing Elvis to the 92 or something.
I was always trying to think about like who was going to do what song. So when Eminem was coming up, I'm like, oh, I wonder if he's going to do Forgot About Dre or whatever like that. Or then he did Lose Yourself. And I'm like, when the fuck did this song come out? It's 20 years old.
That's 20 years old, that song?
2002.
Oh, wow.
2002.
Holy cow. Okay.
I will say I could have done, no disrespect, I could have done without Mary J. Blige. I didn't think she was that good. I would have liked, in a perfect world, swap her out for a little bit more Kendrick. But that's my age coming through probably.
Oh, Mary J's got the voice of an angel.
She does. I could have also done without Mary J. Blige though. I could have also done without, actually that's about it. I just wanted more of everybody. That halftime show could have gone for an hour.
Yeah. We're in our buddy's basement and he had a good sound system and I was just locked in during the whole time. Like I don't even think I blinked. It
was great. I was all in on it too. It was awesome.
I thought it was funny that the NFL allegedly told Eminem not to kneel during his performance and expected him to listen.
Yeah. Like, what do you, whatever. And apparently I also saw a rumor on Twitter that they told Dre
not to say say
anything about the police. Yeah. And he did anyways.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's good. I also imagine a scenario where like they were rehearsing and like they were leaving that stuff out. The NFL was like, great stuff. Also, I came home from my trip and I have a flat tire. I couldn't drive I went to go drive my car and I was like, fuck, what the hell? We were having troubles with that tire on the drive back from Jasper though.
So Tyler, on the way back, he's like, I need some air in my tire, but he doesn't have an air gauge.
Oh.
So he's got the digital one inside the car. So he would fill it, run back around, check the air gauge. He overinflated, run back around, let some out. And this process took a lot longer than it should have.
Yeah, it did not need to take that long. That was good. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Shout out to our friends at the HGA group, as well as TradesLink, Twig and Berries, and DoorDash Oodle Noodle. We love them all very much. And I'm happy to be back. We'll do this again on Thursday. Go Oilers. Let's hope they get on a run. Big
4-2 win.
Big week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Real Life Podcast. Don't want to miss any of our nonsense? Hit the subscribe button and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram.